Hi everybody, and thanks for joining me here on Plastic Models by a Regular Dude. Today, as you can see, we've got the King Tiger project going. Thought I'd do just a quick update, let you know where I am with this kit. So basically, I am up to just completed step 12. So the only thing that I haven't glued on per instructions is the driver's seat, the firewall, and all the wheels. We've got the torsion bars, the swing arms, all that kind of stuff in place. Everything else up to this point is glued in place. Now normally I like to paint and glue and paint and glue, paint and glue, but there is so many contact points that I want to make sure that are glued firmly. I didn't want to paint stuff and then have to scrape paint or glue on top of paint or anything like that. I don't like gluing, on paint. So I opted to do this, and really the only things that need to be painted up to this point are things like the fire extinguisher and the detail on that. That's why this is still off, because this has to be painted the off-white color, whereas all this stuff in here has to be painted the red oxide. So another thing I'm gonna have to paint is the first aid box, as well as put a decal on there. There's a few details on the sides that are going to have to be painted, but all of that can be done with the parts in position, because number one, there's a lot of nooks and crannies and stuff in here. It's like, well, how are you going to get your primer or whatever down in there, paint and stuff? Well, when you think about it, anywhere I can see, I can get my airbrush to spray. And it's not gonna, there's stuff underneath there and everything else. It's just not necessary, because you wouldn't be able to see it once it's together anyway. Now, if all goes according to plan, I will be leaving some parts where I can take them off. So I want to do as good a job as possible, but then again, I don't want to spend a lot of an inordinate amount of time on something that's not going to be seen anyway. And I know there's some that are like, it's like, well, I would know what's there. It's like, well, generally that's the way I am. You talk about, aircraft cockpits and stuff like that. But in this case, it's just not necessary. And my primary objective so far is to make sure that everything is cemented together solidly. So I'm up to the point now where this is kind of done for now, because the next thing I'm going to have to do is paint the interior. Now, one of the things I did not do, I did not glue on the drive sprockets, and I did not glue on the wheels. Now I have them divided. There's 8 wheels and 10 wheels. They differ slightly. Those will be painted off of the kit, so and it'll make it easier to paint underneath here and get some weathering done. But the weathering's not going to be real heavy, and you'll understand once I get more toward the end of the project. But as far as fit and everything goes, everything fits together really well. Now there are, hopefully you can see right here, these cross braces, they're the first things you glue into the hull. And I found it incredibly difficult to keep those things perpendicular to the bottom, to the floor of the hull. I had them just like tweaked one way or the other, and man, it was just a real struggle. But I eventually got it. And then these parts here, which goes the full length, of the kit. The full length of the hull, well, a little short, but pretty much full length. And they kind of slot onto those cross braces. And that went a little bit better. They are ultra thin, so you have to be careful with them. Fortunately, Takom plastic's pretty soft, so I didn't have to worry about anything really breaking, but I was able to get it in there. But you know, you can see spots where it's just a little bit crooked. It's like a little bit of a bow, and hopefully that won't come back to bite me. But it's not too bad. As far as the torsion bars fitting through and everything lining up, I had no problems at all. Everything just right into place. I did have to, I think it was one of them, I had to kind of push the torsion bar a little bit to get it to pop into the hole on the other side, and you can't see it, but they fit in pretty easily. I can't really, the hole where the torsion bar goes in is kind of chamfered on the edges, radiused on the edges, so if it goes in a little bit crooked, it'll pop into place. But it all went in there really well, so no problems there. Some of the sub-assemblies like this, they are quite, as some people say, fiddly, but totally doable, totally easy, no problems. Everything just fits together really well. Not really much flash. It was funny because two wheels, the matching wheels on both sprues had flash along the edge, which was weird, but no big deal. There was a couple of other small parts that had a bit of flash, but it was super thin, really easy to clean up. So up to this point, no problems, no hassles, everything's just going jolly. I got no complaints, and it's all going according to plan. So the next thing to do is start working on some of the other sub-assemblies, like the transmission, the transmission and radio set. That's next. So I'm going to have to start thinking about painting this stuff, but I'm going to go ahead in my instructions and really checking out what's going in there and seeing if it's stuff that can be installed and painted without having to worry too much about detail painting and that kind of thing, because like I said, I just want to have really good bonds in this plastic. So anyway, that's pretty much it. That's where I am on the Takom Porsche Turret King Tiger. Great kit so far, really like it. Wouldn't expect anything less from Takom so far in my life. The one thing I do find kind of weird though are these runners, how they're all rectangular and flat on one side. And I'm just not used to flat. I'm used to regular, the good old-fashioned round stuff. It's just weird. Looks funny, but it works. So anyway, that's pretty much it. That's Takom King Tiger so far. So thanks for joining me here today. If you've had any experience with this kit and have anything to look out for, or you know, hints or tips, anything like that, put them in the comments below, and I will heed them, and I will answer as quickly as possible. So anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for joining me here on Plastic Models by a Regular Dude, and I will see you all later.